I'm Tina Madison again. I haven't earned the past president name yet. And I get to give the state of the profession to you all. So, esteemed members of the National Association for Court Management, I am honored to give the 8th annual State of the Profession. I'd like to thank Nicole Garcia, Editor-in-Chief, and the folks who assisted with this presentation, Shirley Olson, Christy Collier, Kent Pantke, Credell Webb, and Courtney Whiteside. Today, we face a challenge as old as the justice system itself, ensuring public trust and confidence in our judiciary. As court administrators and professionals and public servants, each of us play a vital role in shaping how the public perceives our courts. But how do we earn and sustain that trust? We begin by reflecting on the history of our profession, using it as a foundation to build a more responsive future. We must leverage our resources to meet current goals and future needs, enhancing user experience, improving services, promoting access and fairness, fostering collaboration, and supporting the judiciary's responsibility to uphold public trust. And at the heart of that mission is something often overlooked: us. Pull up any court professional on a search engine and you'll get pictures of attorneys and judges. I typed in court administrator and I got a picture of these slides. So some folks up there, and there were still some judges and attorneys up there. But most of us work behind the scenes, and as court professional, we serve as the building blocks of the court's work, supporting one another, sharing knowledge, mentoring, and uplifting the next generation of leaders. We must ensure that the courts are responsive and accessible to everyone. I'm sure you've heard it is our 40th anniversary. If you haven't heard, yes, it's true. Pause for a brief public service announcement. Yes, you can get NACM swag on our NACM store and some really nice 40th anniversary items. As we begin to consider how we as an organization can continue to promote public trust and confidence, we're going to take a trip down memory lane. Since our founding 40 years ago, NACM has been instrumental in shaping our profession. Although we're relatively small compared to the number of individuals working in over 30,000 courts nationwide, NACM has served as the broad tent welcoming professionals across roles and jurisdiction. And it may surprise some that before 1950, the field of court administration scarcely existed. Edward Gallus, appointed in 1957 as the administrator of Los Angeles Superior Court, is often credited as the nation's first trial court manager. Soon after, other urban courts followed suit. By 1965, the National Association of Trial Court Administrators formed, and just a generation later, in 1985, it merged with the National Association of Court Administration to create NACM. Since then, NACM has remained committed to identifying best practices, developing future leaders, and advancing key values such as access, equity, inclusion, and strategic innovation. Our conferences, publications, and projects have addressed major questions in leadership, accountability, and adaptability, always with a vision for the future of justice. From its earliest years, NACM has contributed significantly to the field of court management through substantive articles in the quarterly periodical, The Court Manager, the creation of the Model Code of Conduct, and the publication of regularly updated guides, including most recently an evolving resource on artificial intelligence. The launch of NACM's core curriculum in the 1990s has since served as a defining framework for court administration and its dominant component in the curricula of the Institute for Court Management and other organizations engaged in judicial branch education. Dean Roscoe Pound's famous 1906 speech to the American Bar Association cited public's dissatisfaction with courts due to the law's complexity and delays. More than a century later, these challenges still persist. But so does our resolve. Because of the leadership and fellowship of NACM, our future remains bright. So the field of court administration continues to evolve alongside advancements in justice reform, artificial intelligence, and our efforts to demystify court operations. Perhaps most importantly, we're also witnessing a long overdue reckoning with historical inequities. The journey is not always easy, but as history has shown, great leaders rise during the most difficult times. They don't wait for change, they lead it. And for 4 decades, NACM has answered that call. Through innovation, dialogue, committee work, partnerships, and education. If you have served on a committee, please stand up on a NACM committee, please. All right, well, thank you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for serving the organization, and for those of you who didn't stand up, I'll get back to you later. While NACM has celebrated meaningful successes, we also must face a persistent challenge, mostly recruitment and retention in our organization. Despite being a nationwide field, NACM's membership has often hovered in the low thousands. Through outreach, scholarship, regional partnerships, and our mid-year annual conferences, we continually strive to engage all court employees, expanding our inclusivity. We've held roundtables and listening sessions with municipal and tribal courts, spaces that may have felt sidelined in the past, to better understand and reflect their needs. We invite new ideas and welcome feedback on how to deliver more value to our members and the judiciary as a whole. So what is needed for the judiciary to maintain public trust and confidence? Public perceptions of the courts are shaped by individual experiences, often far from the courtroom. What do our courts' websites look like? Are they easy to navigate? Are our forms written in plain language? Can users find clear signage and get questions answered by customer service-oriented staff? A self-represented litigant may not understand the Latin phrase informa pauperis, I can barely say it, but they can grasp fee waiver based on income. These basics matter. As court leaders, we must be intentional about every point of contact, ensuring all users feel heard, informed, and supported. By returning to these fundamentals and by being purposeful in our execution, we can reinforce confidence in the judiciary, one court customer at a time. And as our plenary speaker said, we want them to be thrilled with our service. As I said before, we matter. But we also must expand our definition of we to include those following behind us, the emerging professionals who will lead us into tomorrow. And as we stand at the crossroads of tradition and innovation, we have a unique opportunity to empower the next generation of court leaders. The judiciary is the backbone of our democracy, ensuring justice, fairness, and the rule of law. It is essential to prepare those who will follow us in these critical roles. To strengthen the next generation, we must invest in their education and training, encouraging participation in mentorship programs, and expanding our NACM core workshops we're bringing to more cities throughout the nation to help you in your courts and your organizations. Creating forums that connect seasoned judges and court leaders with young professionals is also crucial as they navigate the complexities of the legal landscape. Ensuring our court staff and bench reflect our communities will foster greater trust in our legal system. We must encourage individuals from all backgrounds to pursue careers in the judiciary and provide them with pathways to success. Embracing technology and innovation is also critical. We are moving further into an increasingly digital age, and by incorporating technology-focused training into our programs and discussing the implications on justice, we can ensure that the next generation is ready to tackle these upcoming challenges. Finally, cultivating a culture of continuous learning and development will empower emerging leaders. The legal field, again, is ever evolving. Supporting initiatives for continual professional development and creating opportunities for young leaders to engage with new ideas and practices is essential. Okay, back to everyone who remained seated when I asked if you joined a NACM committee. Here's my call to action. I encourage you to participate. Just explore. You don't have to do anything. Just join a committee call. Not just because you're going to be entered into a drawing. Please see a board member, and they have a scan me for the QR code, and you will be entered into a drawing. Most of these committees meet for less than an hour, and they offer a meaningful way to connect with your fellow professionals while contributing to the important work of NACM as an association. And you may have more to offer than you realize. I genuinely believe that the investment you make in NACM will be an immense return in value to both you personally and professionally. So let us commit to building an ecosystem that supports and nurtures the next generation of court leaders. By working together, we can guide, inspire, and empower them to face any challenge that comes their way. The commitment we make today not only strengthens public trust and confidence in the judiciary, it also helps shape a just, equitable future for our courts and everyone seeking justice. Thank you.